it was in Salem, my first area, and I was training, and it was my companion's, like, one of her first contacts that we made. We went to contact a referral, and so we knocked on the door, and he was, like, fumbling around in there, and it was this tiny apartment, but he invited us in, and we had a member with us so we could go in, and something was definitely up. Like, I don't know, he was on some sort of drugs or something, but he kept telling us about these blue metallic spiders in his closet. And he's like, come look at them. So he, like, has his lamp and he's trying to show us, and there were spiders, but they weren't blue and they weren't metallic. And he just kept going on, and we tried to tell him about Joseph Smith, and he just kept talking about his friend Joe. So I don't know why I always think of that, but that was really funny. He was just kind of crazy, and we tried, but we were like, okay, I don't think we're going to go back there. There was this man that my companion and I taught in Albany, and it was so cool. We actually went there to teach his wife, and he walked in the middle, and he just kind of sat down, and he didn't know who we were. We told him, we were missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but a lot of people don't know that we're called Mormons or LDS or whatever, and so we just taught him the restoration, and he was so excited about it. And then it came up that we were Mormons, and he was like, oh, wow. He said, if I had heard that when you first knocked on the door, I wouldn't have let you in. And we were like, oh, no. And he said, but now I know there's something special about you. And he said, when he walked in, I felt something, and it was like a bomb, but a good bomb. And he said, and I shut the door because I didn't want it to leave. And so he talked about the Spirit and how he felt it, and we explained to him that that's what it was. And we invited him to offer the closing prayer. And so we all knelt, and he said the most beautiful prayer. And my companion and I were both in tears by the end. He was he was such an awesome guy, and the Spirit was so strong. I don't know if I ever felt it that strong in a first lesson than I did that day. I always say soda when I'm referring to, like, a soft drink, and they always say pop. And that's just something small. But the other thing was, a lot of people, they say wash. They say it funny. They say wash. And, like, Washington. And words like that, they put an R in. So I don't know where that came from, but that was kind of funny. I think the biggest thing that I learned is it's about the atonement and the enabling power of it, and how we really don't have to be perfect in everything. I really struggled with that. I thought I had to be perfect. But especially that first day when I buried my fears, I realized that the atonement is there to make up for our weaknesses and our mistakes. And really, as long as we are honestly trying our best, Jesus Christ, He can make up the difference, and Heavenly Father still loves us no matter what. But that's kind of a general thing, but just that the atonement is real, and it's for everyone. Like I said, I'm a very shy person, but on my mission, I'm still shy, but I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable talking to people, especially that I don't know. And just, I don't know, helping, like, I love to serve people. That's something that I really discovered that I loved on my mission. Makes me happy. I just remember one time it rained a ton, so much, and I was by the river in that area, and the river was, like, flooding, and they canceled school in some of the schools because of flooding, and everyone's basements were flooding, so there was a lot of rain. The one that comes to mind is when I was in my second area, and I don't know why it was so hard, but it was just kind of a hard time. I mean, we were struggling to find people, and I'd been in that area for a while, so I was kind of getting burned out. And my poor companion was like brand new, and I was only out like 6 months, but I was ready to leave, and transfers were coming up. And I remember emailing my mission president, and I didn't ever do this, but I was like, President, I need to leave this area, please transfer me out. And that was on Monday, and then we got transfer calls on Saturday. And I was staying, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I loved the place, but I was just so tired, and it was so hard. And so I wrote to my mission president again, and he'll reply occasionally. And I wrote him, and I said, I don't know why I'm still here. I feel like I've done everything, and nothing's happened. And he wrote back one sentence. He said, Sister Wyrick, there's something that you need to do there. That's why you're still there. And I was like, oh, okay. So I still don't know why I was there. It was only 6 more weeks, but I do remember that 6 weeks was awesome. Like, it was the best I ever had in that area. And it taught me that I don't know everything. And that Heavenly Father really does have a plan. And He gives us trials so that we can become stronger. Because after that, I just felt, I felt like a renewed excitement and joy in missionary work. Even though we didn't, have any people get baptized or anything, that doesn't matter as much as just learning that you're there for a purpose and you may not know why. Well, just a rain jacket. No one uses umbrellas. I brought an umbrella and I never used it. So rain jackets were awesome. And boots, for sure. And they don't have to necessarily be rain boots, but I just got some nice boots and put some waterproof spray on them, and they were great. And it doesn't get too cold, so that's good. Being familiar with Preach My Gospel a little bit, and that was something that I did. I kind of studied it before, and that helped a lot. I was pretty familiar with the lessons, actually, and then you don't feel as overwhelmed when you get to the MTC and when you're teaching. And just reading the Book of Mormon, that was a huge thing for me. Even though I'd read it before, reading it again, preparing for your mission. And it's just important to go into your mission knowing, everyone tells you it's going to be hard, but knowing that it's going to be great. And that when it gets hard, don't give up. Because I feel like in the world today, when things get hard, people just kind of quit. Not necessarily in the church, but that's the culture of the world. And I just want people to know that there's so much good, even when the things are hard. Don't give up. This was in my second area, and we actually had this couple that we were teaching. They were super cute, and so the wife in the couple, she was set to be baptized and everything was good and she was super excited. And then the husband, he was awesome, he loved the gospel, but there were some things that we had to work out before he could be baptized. And so he was kind of bummed that he couldn't be baptized with his wife, but she decided to go on and just do it. And they were having their interviews. They have to be interviewed by either a district leader or someone in the mission presidency before they're baptized. And we asked, he was from the mission presidency, we asked if he would interview the husband, just in case, just so that he could know what it would be like when he was going to be baptized. And so he did. And my companion and I, we were sitting there with his wife waiting, and it was taking a while. And we were like, well, hopefully that's a good thing. And the first counselor in the mission presidency came out with her husband and with our investigator's husband. And I don't know, he was in tears, the person from the mission presidency. And he said, this man is ready to be baptized. And we were like, wait, what? What? We thought he couldn't. And he said, I called the mission president. He gave us the okay. They can be baptized together. And it was in 2 days. And so we went in a room, all of us together, and he just kind of talked to us about the interview, and the Spirit was so strong, and I don't cry that often. I know it kind of sounds like I might from these stories, but my companion and I were just crying, and we were like, this is so cool. So he and his wife were baptized together, and it was the most special thing. It was just such a sweet experience. One thing that I realized on my mission was that I was told sometimes that missionaries are called to mission presidents. Like sometimes you're there for a specific mission president. And I think that was the case for me. Actually, I know it was. Because my mission president changed my life. He helped me so much. But I think it's just important to remember to love and serve and respect your mission president. And I know that maybe you don't necessarily agree with everything that your mission president might say, but it was just important for me to always remember that he's called of God and that I was sent to that mission for a reason, even if it wasn't just for him and his wife, but that I needed them for something. One of the biggest things for me is still reaching out to other people. Like, doing visiting teaching is awesome. I love doing that. And I realize that when I think about myself, I'm pretty miserable. And that's why I'm so happy on my mission. So doing things to help others is really good. And just doing everything you can to still live like you did as a missionary. I mean, obviously you can't do everything. Like, it's hard to study for 2 or 3 hours in the morning. But making sure you do read your scriptures every day and go to church and listen to appropriate music and just do everything you can to keep the Spirit with you. That's helped me a lot.